Good morning, all of you. This is your biology class in class 12, and we have to take start chapter number 7, Principles of Inheritance and Variation. So, this is regarded as genetics. So, this chapter is the part of genetics. Genetics is the branch of biology in which we have studied about inheritance and variation. So there are two terms. First one is inheritance and second one is variation. So you know that inheritance means those characters which we get from our parents are known as inheritance. And next one is variations. Those changes which we get from our parents is known as variation. So variation are changes in our body structure or characters or function with our parents are known as variation. And inheritance means same character which comes from our parent in our body are known as inheritance. So study of both inheritance character and variation in the branch of biology is known as genetics. So we have to discuss some principles of inheritance and variation in this chapter. Now, first one is heredity. Heredity means Latin word hereditas. It means inheritance or those process of transmission of character from one generation to the next generation is known as heredity. Next thing is the term genetics is also comes from a Greek word genesis, which means descent, was coined by Mr. Bateson in 1905. So the dissimilarities between the parents and their offspring are known as variation. So these are the general introduction of some topic which we include in the branch genetics. Now our next topic of this chapter is object of genetics. What are the main object of genetics? So first one is to discover the mechanism of origin and transmission of hereditary character. So the first goal or first aim of the branch genetics to study the mechanism of the transmission of characters. Second one is to study the interaction between hereditary character and their explanation. What are the reasons to the transmission of hereditary character from one generation to another generation? Is to study these interaction is the main goal of the branch genetics. So first one is types of variation. Variations are of following types. First one is hereditary variations. It means that the variations which one take place transmit from one generation to the another generation, such type of variation is known as hereditary variations. Next one is environmental variations. Such type of variation which take place by the environmental condition So these type of variation are transmitted from one generation to another generation by the mean of environmental condition is known as hereditary or environmental variation. So these two type of variation we see here. First one is hereditary variation, which transmit from one generation to another generation by the parents, and second one of variation which can transmit by the environmental condition or changes which take place by the environmental condition. So this type of variation is known as environmental variation. Environmental conditions variation are automatically removed. If we have to change the environmental condition, then the variation take place which occur in our body or our offspring, and we have changed the environment, then such type of variation also removed. So third type of variation is somatic variation. Somatic variation develop in somatic cell. Cells are two types. First one is somatic cell and second one is generic cell. So the variation take place in somatic cell are known as somatic variation. Next type of variation is germinal variation. So such type of variation take place in germinal cell, and variation in germinal cell are also of two types. First one is continuous variation. This type of variation has height of man shows continuous variation because human being shows range of height between shortest and tallest person. Similar is the case of skin color in human beings is continuous variation. The continuous variation are of following two types: substantive and meristic. Substantive means the variation affect the weight, color, shape of the organism. Example: height of man, shape of nose, color of skin, eyes color, length of finger, milk producing capacity, etc. So such type of continuous variation are the example of substantive variations. Now second continuous variation is meristic. These variations result in the numerical change in the organs of part of the organism. Number of seeds in ear of wheat, or number of segment in the body of earthworm, and number of tentacle in hydra. So such type of numeric change are known as meristic variation. Now another type of germinal variation is known as discontinuous variation. Discontinuous variation means two extreme features, for example height of pea plant and intermediate are not found between these extremes, are known as discontinuous variations. Now variation are important. So some importance of variation. First one, it helps in the adaptation of organism. Variation take place is the most important character that which we can adopt in the any condition. If we do not have variation or do not change in our life cycle or lifestyle, then we do not adapt in any environment. So it is the most important character to adopt or adaptation. Next one is variation is helpful for existence of organism. Yes, it is the most important thing for our existence. If we have to change in the conditions, social condition or environmental condition or other condition, then we have exist in life. If we do not take change, we do not have any change, then we do not exist in any environmental change or any social change or any change in our surroundings. So we have adopt all these things, or we have to change in our lifestyle when we have exist any conditions. New traits develop through the discontinuous variation. If the variation are discontinuous, it means change are not in a continuous manner, then lot of variation will be take place. Variations are the path of origin and evolution of new species. So variation is the most important thing because it is responsible for the origin of new species. Variation provide identity to every organism. Variation is most necessary thing. So it is the identical feature of the living beings, and every living beings have an identical features. So it is due to its variant property. So variation is also the importance to identically person. These keep organisms dynamic and evolutionary. Evolution means when evolution takes place, then the new species are created and the dynamicity of the living things or life is also take place by the variations. So variations are very important for us. Now some views about heredity. Heredity, it means that the features or characters which come from our parents to the next generation are known as heredity. So we have discussed some theories of scientists about heredity. First one is moist vapor theory. Moist vapor theory was proposed by Pythagoras, and it believed that most moist vapor is produced by all the organ and organisms. Different organs of features are formed from these vapors. So, according to moist vapor theory, Pythagoras says that some types of vapors produce, and these vapor produce different type of organs and different type of organisms in the body. Second one is fluid theory. This theory was proposed by Empedocles in 504 to 433 BC. According to him, specific fluid are produced in organisms during mating, and this fluid of male and female are mixed together during pregnancy. Certain organs are formed by this fluid of mother, and other organ of fetus develop from father fluid. So this is the reason why a child has featured of both the parents. So according to fluid theory, which was proposed by Empedocles, says that the two type of fluid are generated in the meeting of parents, and through the mixing of this type of fluid, newborn of spring germ, and it contains both the character of male as well as female, or father as well as its mother. Reproductive blood theory. The third theory of inheritance was given by Mr. Aristotle in 384 to 322 BC. He believed that semen or spermatic fluid of the male is highly purified from the blood. When the semen of male is discharged inside the uterus, it coagulates, and unpurified blood of female, the embryo develops from this coagulum. It bears most of character of male parents. So this theory was given by Aristotle. According to this theory, Aristotle says that the blood of male is purified and form semen, and this semen or spermatic fluid are into the uterus of female. It coagulate or combine and to form the embryo. So next one is pre-formation of homonucleus theory. Homonucleus theory of pre-formation. Leeuwenhoek, Malpighi, Swammerdam, Hartog and Lepsius Rocks also proposed this theory. According to this theory, organism is present inside the egg and sperm. According to this theory, the organism are present always in the sperm and ovum, and after the fusion, the miniature means small organisms are produced. Homonucleus develop into a fetus inside the uterus, and homonucleus, homo means same and nucleus, so same nucleus are developed into the fetus inside the uterus. So such type of theory is known as pre-formation or homonucleus theory. Next one is pangenesis theory. According to this theory, it is proposed by Manu Paetsch in 1698 to 1757. According to this theory, heredity in organism is controlled by the minute particle called pangenes. So it is proposed that the small particle which is present in female is known as pangene. The pangene of both the parents combine to form the embryo, and both these small particle or pangene comes from male and female are combined together to form the organ of two parents. So after the fusion, these pangene again develop into the respective organs of the child. So it is the fifth theory or pangenesis theory. So these are some important historical theory which was given by some scientists at the time to time. And next one is the heredity and variation in sexual organism. So our next topic is heredity and variation in sexual organism. After these theories, it says that heredity and variation result due to sexual reproduction and therefore can occur only in sexuality reproducing organism, except whereas mutation cause variation. Hereditary variation in nature are restricted to the member of the same species because sexual reproduction does not occur between the member of different species. So sexual organism during the sexual transmission, the variation take place by the formation of embryo from the chromosomes are break, then their segment are crossing over process. So these type of changes are responsible. So crossing over, process of crossing over, in which means the part of chromosomes are interact, transfers. This part combined to the another part of the another pair of the chromosomes. So such type of fragments are interchanged, and due to these interchange, their sequence of genes are also changed, and variation is take place in the organism. In some cases, mutation is also the causes of variations, but mutant gene is a mostly fetal. It means the mutation is not occur or not exist in existence, and the new child is always till death in the case of mutation. So mutation is the sudden change and it is responsible for variation, but this type of species does not exist in nature. So sexual transmission, in the case of sexual transmission, the crossing over process take place, and this is the main cause of the variation of human beings or another types of species. Heredity and variation in asexual organism. Now, asexual reproduction does not involve two parents. There is no fusion of female and male gamete, hence no genetic recombination and variation occurs. So, asexual reproduction is monoparental, involves mitosis, and the organism produced by inherits all the traits of its parents. With the result, it is almost a carbon copy of the parent and called a ramage. So, or clone. So, in asexual reproduction, there is no fusion of gamete, there is no sexual transmission of material. It occurs in only one parent. So, such type of individual through the asexual reproduction are same, are carbon copy to each other. It means that the variation in these species which have reproduced by asexual reproduction is very less. Variation is very less in this type of species. Now, another topic of this chapter is differentiation between clones and offspring. Clones and offspring. Clones which we are produced genetically by the biotechnology, but offspring which we can produce due to the natural process, and clones are monoparental and it's derived by the single parent, but offspring are biparental and it originates from two parents. Clones are produced asexual reproduction. It is produced by the asexual reproduction, but offspring produced by the sexual reproduction. Clones are from mitotic division and offspring produce mitotic as well as meiosis cell division. Because in meiosis cell division, gametes are formed and these gametes fuse together to form zygote and further it develops into embryo. Next one, clones do not involve in the formation and fusion of gamete. Fusion of gamete and formation of gamete, this process does not take place in the clone formation, but it takes place in the formation of offsprings. The clone are exactly resemble their parents. It means they are identical to their parents, but offspring does not identical to their parents. There are some difference take place. Gene recombination does not take place, but gene recombination take place in the offspring. So these are the some important things about principle of inheritance and variation. You know that variation are responsible to the change of our offspring, and if variation does not take place, then the new type of varieties or new species doesn't created. So variation is most important thing in our genetically features or change in our characters. Now our next topic is crossing techniques. Crossing techniques, it means that to produce new variety from the two different varieties, the plants of two different varieties are crossed together and produce new variety plant which have both the desirable character of the plant. So crossing technique is the most important thing. Removal of immature anthers from a flower is called emasculation. At the time of emasculation, the stigma is covered with the help of polythene bag to prevent pollination and fertilization. And the pollen at the descent stage is brought over the plant to be used to pale parents and is dusted on the freshly stigma of the emasculated flower. It is called cross pollination. So during crossing technique, cross pollination technique will be used, and the pollen grain of another plant are put down on the stigma of the plant, and this type of process of crossing over to produce new type of varieties. So this is the crossing technique. Now we have discussed the Mendel and his law of inheritance. Mendel was the first scientist who gives the law of inheritance. Mendel experiment on pea plant. He takes pea plant due to the following reason. First one is the life cycle of pea plant is short, so it is an annual plant, and in its life we can take its various study of its various generation easily. So this is the first reason. Second reason is that it have more than one character. So it has 7 character. Mendel work out 7 different character on the pea plant, and on their experiment, basis of their experiment, he gives or proposed some law which is known as law of inheritance. So Gregor John Mendel was born on 22nd July 1822 in Austria. At the age of 20, Mendel graduated in philosophy and was appointed as a priest in the mud. The annual proceeding of the Natural History of Society. It was the Mendel work. In 1884, Mendel worked in Pisum sativum or pea plant, and on the basis of their study, it proposed law of inheritance. About the study of 34 years, and he died without knowing the tremendous scope of law of inheritance he had discovered. So after the death of Mendel, rediscovery of Mendelism. Though Mendel completed his work in 1865, but it remained unnoticed till 1900, when 3 botanists, Hugo de Vries from Holland, Paul Kohns from Germany, and Erich von Teschemark from Austria, arrived independently at the same conclusion while studying inheritance in plant hybrid, to which Mendel had arrived some 35 years back. So this is the rediscovery of Mendelism. Now, why Mendel work remained unnoticed for 35 years? After the death of Mendel, his work is unnoticed, and Darwin published his book Origin of Species in 1859, which arose lot of discussion and controversy, and most of the scientists all over the world were attracted by the origin of species. So these are the causes where the Mendel work remained unnoticed for 35 years. And ideas of heredity and variation were ahead of this time. His work was published in a local relative unfamiliar journal which had limited circulation. So these are the main causes why Mendel work remained unnoticed for 35 years. Now our next topic is causes of Mendel's success. What are the main causes of Mendel's success? First one is Mendel enough to consider inheritance of one character at a time. He studies one character at a time, and his method of study different from the predecessors. So it is the main cause of its success. Mendel carried their experiment up to F2 and F3 generation and maintained the statistical data carefully. So these are the main causes of success of Mendel. Now Mendel chose pea plant only. Why? Because flower of pea plants are bisexual and naturally self-pollinated. Second one, it is annual plant. It means Mendel studies several generations within its short duration of time. Third one, the structure of corolla of the flower in such that the sex organ remain well protected. Easy to cross because pollen from one plant can be introduced to the stigma of another plant by removing anther. Because of self-fertilization, plants are homozygous. So these are the main points that Mendel chose pea plant to their experiment. They have 7 different characters. First one is seed shape. Second one is cotyledonous color.